So the day has finally come. The heavy metal titan Slayer have finally announced that they're going to call it a day, and they're going to do one last world tour, and then they're going to hang up their spiky guitars and they're going to go their separate ways. And it's pretty sad. So we all knew these days were going to come. We all knew that the big bands were going to call it a day. But it's going to be really weird with the fact that bands such as Slayer, and you've got the likes of like Metallica, AC/DC, stuff like that, they've always been around for a lot of us. A lot of us have not known rock and metal music without these bands. And we all knew this day was going to have to come at some point. But it looks like the number one is set to hang up their boots soon. And that is Slayer. Obviously Slayer have been around for about 35 years. And it has been known over the last few years that Tom has been wanting to retire. And it looks like enough is enough. And it's time to just go out, just to bow out on one last tour, say goodbye, and call it a day. And what a huge goodbye this is going to be. Slayer are taking out Lamb of God, Anthrax, Behemoth and Testament on this world tour, or at least on the American side of it. And if you are into thrash metal, you're into heavy, brutal riffing, fast playing, and just some awesome metal stuff, this is definitely the tour you need to go to see. And if you haven't seen Slayer before, definitely go and try and see them one time before they call it a day. I've never seen Slayer, and that's one band I've always wanted to see. And who knows, I may get a chance to see them before they call it a day. And if I don't, it'll be very, very sad. But Slayer set to hit the road, I think in May, on the May the 10th in San Diego. And they're going to conclude on June the 20th in Texas. That's going to be the North American side of the tour. And apparently it's going to be a world tour, so they are going to hit sort of Europe and other countries as well. And so definitely keep an eye out for that. But apparently Kerry King isn't going to be calling it a day though. His wife has said that Kerry King is planning to still make music after Slayer call it a day. And that's not very surprising. I always had a feeling that this was probably going to be more on Tom's part, that he wants to end Slayer. He wants to retire. Like I say, he's been saying it for a long time. He wants to just retire. He's been on the road for like 35 years. And now it's time to call it a day. But Kerry King seems like the guy that's going to keep on going. So who knows what he's going to do after this. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. Hopefully he just makes some good music. But I hope that it's not going to be the case where he just can't let go of his fame and his glory, and he sort of just keeps sort of doing stuff, just tarnishing his legacy. I really hope that if he does continue, he does it for the right reasons and he continues to make great music. But yeah, it's going to be a sad day. Slayer are going to call it a day, one of the biggest metal titans of all time. And obviously over the next few years, you're going to start getting the likes of Metallica are going to call it a day, Megadeth are going to call it a day, Guns N' Roses are going to call it a day. And before you know it, all these big titans are going to be gone. It's going to be weird. And this is definitely sort of the next step in that happening. I suppose age happens to everyone. It's a shame, but it's a fact of life. And it'll definitely be weird when these sort of big bands aren't around anymore. But let me know what you think. Are you going to go see Slayer on tour? Hopefully you do. If you're into Slayer, go and check them out. And hopefully I manage to see them at least once before they wrap it up and call it a day. But let me know what you think down below in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this video today, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. My name is Doodles. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.